Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Thursday. I just wanted to pop on really quickly before I head out for the day and talk to you guys about something really exciting I've been experimenting with this week. A little bit of backstory though. Last week, I believe it was, I was in practice and, I've just been feeling, or had been feeling, I should say, not my best, not my usual high vibe self. I noticed there was a lot of resistance showing up. I knew there was stuff that I needed to release. So I started doing some shadow work around these things, and I figured what was going to show up for me would be things that needed to be released around my previous relationship or attachments I have to outcomes that I want to see in my work, etc. And I was really surprised to find that what showed up for me during some of these shadow work processes was that what I truly needed to release was my attachment to worry and fear. And so this isn't a new concept. This isn't something that I've just, come on to recently. But still, I found that sneaky fear had rooted in my life without me knowing. And so this tends to happen a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, so that we don't always notice how fearful and worrisome we have become. It just slowly happens. And it was one of those experiences, if you've ever had this happen to you before, where once that light bulb went on, I was like, oh my gosh, how have I not seen this the entire time? It's so blaringly obvious that what's truly holding me out of alignment aren't all these other things or attachment to this. It's my attachment to being concerned about these things, the worry that comes along when I feel like these things aren't happening quick enough or things aren't playing out the way I would like, etc. But it has nothing to do with those things. It was all centered around the fear that I hold around, well, what if these things don't happen? What does that mean? And that's just an example in my life. But honestly, I've always been one to have a fretful nature since literally I was a baby. That's partly due to being highly sensitive and having a trait that causes me to overprocess so much. But that doesn't mean that I have to be a victim to that trait or that I can't step back into the driver's seat and make conscious choices that are more serving to me and my energy. And so, like I said, once this awareness came in, I was just like, wow, this is so obvious, and yet I've been really oblivious to this. So I decided, this happened around the 1st, maybe a day before, so it was really a perfect timing as well. So I decided I'm going to commit myself to the entire month of August of being worry-free. And I've already been presented with some challenges. I feel like when we step into these commitments, the universe is always going to say, okay, let's go, let's do it. And so I was immediately presented with some things early on in this experiment that I would cause me to spiral into worry. But I said, no, I've made this commitment. Everything is going to work out. I'm leaning into faith. I'm choosing love over fear. And I'm trusting that God is going to support me and that I can just surrender these things, surrender my fear, surrender my concerns, and give myself the gift of peace, the freedom of having a peaceful heart and a peaceful mind. So I'm about 5 days into this, and if you want to learn more, definitely pop over to my grid. I've been posting about it all week. I'm encouraging others to join me in this challenge of having a completely worry-free, fear-free August. And then I've also written some about this on my blog post this week, so you can, again, pop over to my profile, look in my links, and it will take you to my blog page where you can read more about my experience and how I came to this understanding and my commitment. And you'll also find mantras, journal prompts, and other suggested exercises in there to help support those of you who are choosing to join me on this. I just wanted to pop in, speak about that, and say that 5 days into this challenge, and I am feeling amazing. Things are shifting. All the things that I was worrying about are beginning to shift in the absence of that worry. And most importantly, and this is really what the ultimate goal is, I'm feeling great. You know, I had been feeling kind of depressed, kind of down, a little pessimistic. And I don't want to use the word hopeless because I never get that mad, but also not as hopeful as I would like to be, and just not as aligned as I want it to be. And so through this exercise, I have literally been set free. Like I said, I've gifted myself the gift of peace and alignment through this exercise, and I'm feeling absolutely amazing and wonderful because of it. So if you're watching this, the first thing I encourage you to do is really be honest about how much of a grip does fear and worry hold in your life. Because like I said, sometimes we don't realize it. It sneaks in a little bit at a time, and before we realize it, it's just like rooted in there. So the first step is always awareness with any shadow work processes, and we have to approach this in a non-judgmental way and in a loving way towards ourselves as we're doing this, or else it just creates blocks right there and we can't really get past that first step of awareness. So once you have that awareness and you've taken time to kind of explore this, I really encourage you to join me on this, and let's keep up with each other. Let me know how you're doing if you decide to join me in this challenge. I'll be posting about this all month long, and the things that I'm noticing in myself to help kind of encourage and inspire you guys as well. And yeah, I'm super stoked to see at the end of August how much has shifted or what changes have been created through this powerful act. So I hope that you all have a wonderful day. We're nearing the end of the week. So I hope you have some really fun stuff planned for this weekend. And as always, I'm sending out so much love to each and every one of you.